Hey everyone, it's me, Tony. There we go. Got my Gulag shirt. Gulag. Because really, that's where we're living. Let's talk about some things that have been going on in the news lately because you can't make this up. Justin Trudeau and his family and his wife flew to Costa Rica for vacation for 2 weeks, maskless, on our private Air Force jet, Bombardier series. Challenger, we call them CL-144. Anyway, it's not important. Guzzling huge amounts of kerosene. Huge. Recently, someone did some mathematics and figured that Justin Trudeau's carbon footprint in the last 12 months has been the same as a family of 5 in Canada for the last 10 years. But he's talking about banning the private ownership of cars. Now, some of you may know that here in Canada, it's called the Charter of Rights, which isn't worth a fucking thing. And this is why I should write things down before I start. Here in Canada, we don't have any laws or rules saying you can actually own things privately. There is no private property laws in Canada. That was done for a reason. Justin Trudeau's father, who was around when the charter was written and actually had a lot to do with it, made sure that the Charter of Rights included nothing to do with private property. I own this house, but the government could seize it if they wanted to. And they would bankrupt me in court trying to fight them. So Justin Trudeau is now pushing the idea, him and the World Economic Forum, this will probably get me banned, that the public should not own vehicles. Now I know what you're thinking. Poor Leonardo DiCaprio. Terrible old names. He's got that giant private yacht with a helicopter on board, and he uses it to get around. Just get around. And you have Bill Gates, who has 6 jets, 4 helicopters, I'm not sure how many cars. And then you have a bunch of musicians. Here in Canada, we have Drake, $185 million private jet. I believe it's a Boeing 767. Just did a 12-minute flight, burned 2,100 liters of fuel because he had to park it somewhere because you can't park it in front of your 24. Yeah, I think it's a $24 million mansion. Sorry, guys, I'm really sick. I'm not doing that well these days. I've been sick for the last bit. Last night, terrible high fever. I was not well. Anyway, besides that, Taylor Swift is hooked on private jets, eh? She's got a thing for private jets and dating guys who are really bad for her, but that's for a story for a different day. Yeah, but they want you. They want you to eat bugs, not drive a vehicle, because it's going to save the environment. I've mentioned this before that where I live, there's a cliff, and it's all fossils of shells and stuff. It's white limestone. It's full of fossils. Where I live, 400 million years ago, there was a warm, salty sea. I want to tell you about human industry that caused that global warming back then, and then we had an ice age. No one really knows what caused that. And now we're back in global warming. How humans are killing the world. Let me tell you something. We're not killing the world. We're not. That's just my opinion. I am not a scientist. I'm a guy who used to fix weapons for a living for the Canadian government. Not the most well-educated guy, but I read fucking everything. Everything I can get my hands on, I read. When I first met my current spouse, she was shocked at the amount of books I had in my home on every subject you can imagine. But it is what it is. So, private ownership of vehicles, they want it gone. They don't want you eating. Well, unless it's bugs and crickets. Canada just created the largest, I want to make sure I word this right, the largest cricket factory for human consumption. No, it doesn't sound right. Here in Canada, they made a factory that produces 9,000 tons of crickets a year for human consumption. Because you got to eat the bugs. You got to eat the bugs. The fucking bugs. I don't like eating bugs. I'm weird like that. Shouldn't be eating bugs. I have, in the past, eaten bugs. Not on choice. Just kind of things happen. I used to drive motorbikes, drive my visor up. And I was just coming off the highway. I was kind of hot, put my visor up, and I swallowed an insect and tried to spit it out, but it was too late. It was easier to get back down my neck than try to get it out through a helmet. It was not fucking pretty. That was one occasion many years ago when I was serving in the military. They forgot to feed us one day. And finally, they brought around hot rashes around 9 o'clock at night, which is the old, what do you call them? It's pretty sad because my brain injury. I can't remember things that were common to me. Hay box. Called a hay box, which is like an insulated thermos type thing. And they brought us, it was like beef stew. It could have been garbage. No one really cared. But there was a dead fly in mine, and I ate him anyway because I was so fucking hungry. Now, I know I only own a day without a meal, and it looks like I don't eat very often. But I do. I do like to eat. I have a reminder on my phone, 9 o'clock. Are you wearing pants? Did you eat yet? Kind of important to me. Yes, we want you to eat the bugs. Let's talk about something crazy real quick. Alex Jones. Have you heard of him? Alex Jones? Conspiracy theorist, right? He was crazy, right? 90% was his success rate in predicting things. Just over 90%. But he was a conspiracy theorist. Now, I don't really like the man's politics. I've never really watched his show a great deal. I've seen snippets here and there. And of course, most of that stuff is fucking heavily edited. I don't edit fuck all. What you see is what you get. And that's kind of the way I... exactly. Thank you, Frank. A hay box. Insulated container. It was a... It's been around since the 50s. We finally get rid of them. We use plastic ones now. And they're garbage. Besides the point. Alex Jones. Yeah. He's a little crazy. But he's also a little right. When I say a little right, I mean a lot right. He's been on it. He knows his shit. And now he was just taken to court by the family of the Sandy Hook folks. I'll leave my opinion on Sandy Hook out of this. Did it happen? Sure it did. Did it happen the way we were told? Probably not. The guy in the hill running away with the rifle wearing camo. Anyone ever talk with him again? There's a video of it. But let's not talk about that. Alex is kind of batshit crazy. And I'll be honest. I kind of like that. I wish more politicians would absolutely be... he's not even a politician, but a prominent figure, we'll call them. I wish more prominent figures be a little more honest in how they feel. I'm going to give you a caveat real quick. I used to go to the Canada's second largest sex club in Ottawa. I was dating a girl who was big into going to sex clubs, and we used to go all the time. I've met politicians, military members, members of clergy. I have met all sorts of interesting folks. I know of a politician who likes young women to step on his testicles wearing high-heeled shoes. One of the rules of the sex club is we don't talk about what goes on in sex club. But I haven't been there in like 15 years, so it's okay. I am not going to out this politician because this politician is still serving. Most politicians have either mistresses or ladies they see on the side. I don't even know what you call that these days. I met a guy years ago in Ottawa named Oleg who used to import girls from Ukraine because Ukraine is a huge spot for human trafficking. And let's call it what it is, if that's what it was. He offered me a wife for $14,000. He's like, Tony, if you don't like her, you can put her in prostitution, stripping, whatever. She won't leave you because you have her passport and papers. And I asked him, I said, why haven't you been deported yet? And he replied, quite honestly and stone-faced, he's like, Most Canadian politicians have one of my girls in their homes as a nanny, a maid, or a slut. Okay, I get it. I fucking get it. Back to Alex Jones. Me and my girlfriend were talking just a few nights ago about Alex Jones. What would it be like to grow up in the Alex Jones house? Could you fucking imagine Alex Jones as your dad? Now, my dad was a construction worker. He was pretty mild-mannered. Nothing really got him excited. But Alex Jones, holy shit, kids. He's got a touch of the crazy. Can you imagine your dad, Alex Jones, picking you up from school? He shows up in an unmarked, windowless fucking minivan. He pulls up, he's like, get in, kids. Put these fucking pillowcases over your head. I gotta protect you from what they say is reality. And then he drives around the block because he thinks someone's following him. Can you imagine growing up in that house? It must have been a fucking treat. Now, he was just sued for, I think, close to $50 million. Heard something the news isn't telling you. Any civil matter in Texas, the max award is $5 million flat. That's it. So when you're hearing Alex Jones is getting screwed, oh, they want $50 million. Well, he lives in the great state of Texas, and the most they can take is only $5 million. Well, he just declared bankruptcy because he's like, I don't have $5 million. He's like, I might have sold $15 million, and he does supplements in the last 10 years, but he's like, my overhead. He's like, I'm not making $15 million. Like if I make $1 million. He actually was quoted in that about 2 days ago. I seen him being interviewed. Maybe it was yesterday. Whatever, it's not important. But yeah, they really want Alex Jones out of the picture. People even want him off the internet. What are you afraid of? If really he's just spouting craziness, what are you afraid of? Maybe he's exposing the truth. No. Alex Jones can't be talking truth. I mean, he said some pretty crazy shit. 911 was an inside job. I think it was. He said a lot of crazy shit. But then you start looking at his as I said, I'm kind of sick. I'm not feeling the greatest. My mind's a little off today. Looking for a word here. That's the worst, isn't it? You're looking for a word, you can't fucking find it. His sources, thank you. His sources are top notch. It's not Bob the homeless guy down the street. There are people in the industry who give him documents. So what do you say about that? Oh, suddenly that person killed themselves. That's fucking weird. Why did he kill himself? Not Alex Jones, but his source. He's had a couple sources mysteriously die in the past 15, 20 years. I mean, he's literally been online for 30 years. And he's been right on most occasions. I believe his success rate's around 90% of his predictions. Or craziness. What do you do? Life's weird like that, isn't it? There was something else here I want to talk about today. Oh, if you want to talk about crazy politicians, here in Canada, we currently have an election or a by-election. One of the main political parties in Canada is looking for a new leader. Jean Charest, who's been a liberal, who's been a conservative, and now he's going for conservative leader again. His 2IC, his second in command, said something along the lines of the word freedom is a dog whistle. A dog whistle. A dog whistle. Sorry, I nearly got sick. A dog whistle. Freedom is a dog whistle. Freedom's kind of important. It allows me to say such things as what's behind me there. Freedom is important. I absolutely hate Justin Trudeau. I hate him. I think he's the most toxic thing that's ever happened to this nation. And this nation will probably take 30 to 40 years to recover from what this man has done. Actually, I don't even call him a man. No, he's not worth calling a man. He's human garbage. I have more respect. How can I put this? In 1996, I was robbed by Halifax police while in an ATM. But at least they had the guts to do it to my face. Justin Trudeau is trying to screw people behind their backs. See, here in Canada, the media is not even covering any of this stuff. For example, do you know they can't find a legal justification to lock the country down? There was a group of 10 or 12 people here in Canada. They worked for a group called the COVID-19 Restart Program. Don't quote me on that. But there's a lady named Jennifer Little who made the policy for travel outside of Canada. Now, she has I believe it's a BA in literature. She's not an epidemiologist, not a virologist. Nothing. Just the one they pulled in an office one day. I said, you're going to make this. And that he is, Frank. He's flushing us. We're fucked. The average Canadian, I don't know about you, Frank. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 48, and I don't see much of a future in this country. But so back to this COVID-19 group. And we only found this out because there's currently a lawsuit going on out in Alberta. And the government had to try to justify why they did this to people. And they couldn't. Can't. They said they're following the science. There's no science. Listen, if I tell you the sky is fucking pink and you look outside and it's obviously blue, but I say I'm following the science, so you must believe me. Do you suddenly believe the sky's pink? I fucking hope not. You know, I've heard of friends of mine trying to get through airports in Canada. One of my friends took 3 days. 3 days to get out of an airport. And their baggage went to another airport. You can't make this up. You know, they fired half the employees. Half. They're shutting down hospitals everywhere in Canada because they fired half the doctors, half the staff, half the nurses because they wouldn't get the fucking jab. Where's your fucking jab at? Huh? You think you're better than me, jabless? So now they're blaming it on Canadians. Well, it's not our fault. It's not our fault Canadians suddenly want to travel. Well, you did lock us down for 2 fucking years. You were allowing Chinese people to fly into Canada. You're allowing Roxham Road, where Canada, every year on average, 55,000 people walk across the fucking border. You want to enter Canada, come across Roxham Road in Quebec. Yeah. I'm not telling you to do this. But if you're in the mood to come to Canada cheap and free, Roxham Road. Just saying. You know, I like satire. It's one of my favorite forms of humor. But it ain't even satire anymore because it's fucking true. And that's the worst part about it. Jennifer Little was the girl's name who was the primary leader of this COVID-19 reopening program. I don't know if I got that title right, but that's the actual name, Jennifer Little. She's got a BA in literature. And she's the reason why you can't go and see your family across the country because you're unvaxxed and they're dying. Her. I haven't found the picture of her yet. Haven't found her address yet. Trust me, I'm looking because people like that should be outed. And I'm all about outing people. I am. Absolutely am. Speaking of outing people, let's talk about monkeypox. So the World Health Organization just said that monkeypox is a worldwide pandemic. Fucking pandemic, eh? Well, you know what we've got to do. It won't be easy, but here's what we have to do. Since it spread mostly by the male gay community, We got to lock them down. We can make sure they don't go to work. If they live in the province of New Brunswick, they shouldn't be allowed in grocery stores. They should have excess taxes put upon them because of their lifestyle. And they should be publicly outed. Because that's what we did with the unvaxxed here in Canada. We did that with the unvaxxed in Canada. People who refused to get an experimental jab lost their jobs. New Brunswick was toying with the idea of not allowing them into grocery stores. Can you imagine? I have some friends of mine that are not as rational as I. And they told me they have a group of people in New Brunswick who burned down every grocery store in every community that did not allow the unvaxxed to buy groceries, because we're not going to let people starve to death in 2020. So I think it's acceptable to say the same thing about the monkeypox, because it is spread in the gay community. But here's what's really bothering me the most. If it is spread in the gay community and it's been confirmed it came out of Brussels from a sex party, how are 10-year-olds getting it? How are 10-year-olds getting monkeypox if it's spread through the gay sex orgy community? I'll wait for an answer. Somebody please tell me. Please tell me. The New York Times just posted a thing a few weeks ago, a video. Sorry, I'm sitting on my coffee. They interviewed a guy who worked for the New York State Department of Health. And he was blaming the government, the reason why he got monkeypox and gonorrhea during Gay Pride weekend in New York City. Now, he said he banged some randos, like 10 of them. His words, not mine. And that's how he got monkeypox. And the government should have told him to be a little more careful. So it's the government's fault. I'm not making this up. I'm absolutely not making this up. I'm going to have to put, when I'm done with this, I'm going to have to edit it a little bit, add some things to the description section. I'm going to have to post some links. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care what your sexual identity, your gender. I don't care. As long as consenting adults do consenting adult things, I don't care what you do. I really don't. I don't. I used to wear clown makeup and bang university chicks. That was my thing. Did it for years. But it's consenting adults. And it's funny because they sought me out. I didn't go looking for them. Weird how that is. And I'm not a good-looking guy. I'm a... If I was a shovel fighter, I'd be a shovel fighting champion. If you served in the military, you know that expression. But it's okay. Yeah. I just wanted to come here and chant. I didn't sleep at all last night. I haven't felt well in probably 2 weeks. Last night, it came down with a really high fever. I had the chills, the shakes, the sweats. I'm just sweating now, and I have the AC on in this house, and I just can't get not feeling well. I had an appointment today I had to cancel because I just couldn't make it. I couldn't get out of bed. And I finally got out of bed earlier today. So yeah, I'm sorry I'm a little off on this video. I said I haven't been feeling that well. It's not monkeypox. It's not COVID. It's probably the flu, but that's been wiped out, 99? When did we wipe out the flu? 2019? Was there no more flu suddenly? I am the vector of the flu. Shit. Anyway, that was just some things I want to talk about. I look forward to your comments. Feel free to leave a comment. I said Frank the Haybox. That's a metal insulated container. It had a couple things you put inside of it. If you want to put like soup inside and stuff, a lot of times you just put fucking meals inside, which is like slop. That's what a Haybox is, Frank. Anyway, John, thank you. I appreciate your comment. I am going to go. Okay, I am going to go and take a break. Really not feeling that great. So You folks have a great day. Thanks for stopping by and having a listen. Even hell, if you get a chuckle out of this, that makes a difference to me. It does. Because life is too short. I've said this once and I've said it before. Don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the sweaty things. And life will just be tickety.